What is the scariest conspiracy theory you believe is 100% true? In the early 1980s, Coca Cola deliberately removed Coke Classic, made with cane sugar, from production and introduced New Coke, aka Coke 2, as a ruse, knowing full well that people would complain it wasn't the same as before. So they staged an apology commercial from Coke CEO saying, "We're sorry, we hear you." When has a CEO ever said that? And reintroduced Coke Classic with corn syrup instead of cane sugar, knowing that by the time it was re released, the market inventory of the original Coke Classic had largely been distributed and consumed, so very few people, if any, could actually compare them side by side to see if they tasted the same. By the way, the tariffs on the cane sugar were increased ginormously just because they did this, which was a way to encourage domestic corn production. Coke pulled a switcheroo and changed the sweeteners and lied, saying it was the exact same as before. That arresting the people in the Jeffrey Epstein Little Black Book would bring this world to a grinding halt because of all the many disgusting rich people there are in power. Meanwhile, my conspiracy is that Epstein is the best thing that ever happened to all the many other disgusting billionaires and near billionaires who did the exact same thing and now get to fly under the radar because everyone is so fixated on Epstein. To be clear, many most ultra wealth people just engage in the most boring forms of exploitation: labor exploitation, legal forms of market tax manipulation, but there are loads others well connected predators whose behavior is pretty much common knowledge, like Epstein's was, who has been cut a whole lot of slack when all the focus shipped to Epstein and Maxwell as though they were somehow unique. Just ask anyone who's modeled as a young teen at the high fashion level, and they'll be able to rhyme off dozens of names without blinking. Insane whack job conspiracies purposely get propagated to distract from the actual shady shit that's going on. What's more is it fucking works. If you see someone even mention something that might be a conspiracy, the person automatically determined to be a lunatic. Dangerous when you consider how corrupt the government, military, and corporations are. Octopi are alien, and you can't convince me otherwise. Motherfuckers came from a meteor or something. Their brain development rate compared to all other species is off the charts. U.S. education system knowingly underfunded to maintain a large unskilled labor force. Originally, this made sense as we needed people to work the world's large breadbasket and mine raw materials. Now, those jobs are highly mechanized and automated. Combine this with a shift to main U.S. exports being tech chem based, and our intentionally woeful education system is coming back to bite us. I believe J. Edgar Hoover was essentially the shadow dictator of the U.S. I believe the reason why Nixon insisted on recording his own office at all times was so Hoover couldn't threaten him the same way he had previous presidents without going on the record. Throwback Thursday. Hashtag TBT just appeared one day out of the blue, with this distinct goal of being silly internet craze to post pictures from the past and compare them to modern day photos. I believe it was a project created by the three-letter United States federal government organizations to encourage large portions of the population to post weekly photos of their past and present to enhance their aging and genetic algorithms. It would be hard to access to everyone's old photos unless they had physical access to everyone's house and snuck into each house to make copies of said photos. Why do all that when all you gotta do is make a few new trends and let people voluntarily give you photos in masses? It is so crazy to me that this could be a thing. I love conspiracy. I'm a conspiracy theory junkie, y'all. I'm sorry. I know that some are like outrageous, but most of them are like, oh my gosh. And the reason why I like conspiracy theories is because it really opens your mind into thinking outside the box. The excess number of mattress stores in cities, often within close proximity to each other. Money laundering fronts for the mafia is what they are referring to. A small one. Samsung announced that the Galaxy Watch 4 would include a non invasive, continuous glucose monitor, which would allow you to monitor your blood sugar at any time while you wear it. for as long as you own it. For months before the 4 was released, the feature quietly disappeared from all of marketing without explanation. And now, years later, nowhere to be found. I believe Abbott Laboratories, markers of Freestyle Light glucometer, and the Freestyle Libre continuously glucose monitor systems panicked, fearing that a non expiring, non invasive glucose monitoring will be highly popular among diabetics and devastated in their debt grip on the market. Huge bribe to Samsung to drop the whole thing. Okay, first of all, that is not a small one. That is freaking huge. Big purse. That pocketbook companies have strong arm bought and convinced women clothing companies to make pockets ineffectual so that purses remain relevant. Taking notes, slipping them into my big purse. NASA was behind the moon landing. I hear NASA is behind a lot of sciencey stuff, and I can't say no more. They're on to me. NASA is 100% part of the powers that be. Food quality is intentionally low to increase the need for medication and supplements. Adequate health care is unaffordable to keep the workers in the ACA gap living for long enough to benefit from the Social Security that they have contributed to for their whole working lives. Yes, medical field is 100% a scam. I don't even believe that's a conspiracy theory. It's the God honest truth. The elites believe in climate change and their answer to consolidate resources and foster infighting. This is why they all build bunkers in New Zealand. First of all, if I'm a billionaire and the whole society is wiped out, what the fuck am I gonna want to live underground for? Kill me too. I don't want to be here years and years on end. I don't know if y'all are familiar with American Horror Story. For those of you that are, y'all know every season is completely different. And one season they have this. It was the end of the world, and the rich people had these bunkers, and they did specifically choose people that are gonna work in the system. So who the people that are volunteering, like okay, that they trust enough to be their assistant or do the cleaning or wipe their ass or whatever these people do for these billionaires. I don't fucking know. But do you really want to be stuck in a bunker with that for the rest of your fucking life, never having a fucking day off, never being able to go outside and breathe some fresh fucking air? I think not. I'd rather die. Kill me. I will be the first to be like, take me. It's the end of the world. I'm ready to go. I won't be stuck here in this shitty ass place. And if all the fucking billionaires want to live their ugly asses under the fucking ground and want to fucking live on for millions of years or whatever, thinking, who the fuck is finna fuck y'all and have these kids? And then who's gonna raise these kids? Because y'all don't want to take care of no kids. Ain't no rich people raising their kids. I'm sorry to say, ain't no rich people raising their kids. So who's gonna take care of them? So y'all gonna have nannies? What are the nannies allowed to fuck the butlers and have kids that are supposed to keep y'all generations taken care of? This is not thinking. I don't know where the logical thinking is, and y'all supposed to be so smart, but that is so dumb. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me that people are freaking thinking that if the end world comes to an end, that they'll be fine in the fucking underground. Yeah, freaking right. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. No fucking way. And and on the American Horror Story, all the people wanted to leave. Nobody wanted to stay there. Everybody felt like they were being held captive and they were trying to find a way out. And they were like, no, y'all can't leave. It's contaminated out there. To me, that's a version of slavery because where is the money being, where's the money coming from? And even if say you have billions so you can keep paying them, but how can you spend it? You won't be able to drive. You won't be able to buy your own house. You won't be able to have a day off. You won't be able to have days off so you can go on vacation. So what is the point? Never in a million years. My phone is always listening to the things I say. There have been countless experiences where I have talked about something I have never even thought about before, and then within that day, I see it posted on the Instagram feed or on a Google ad about it. Nothing on your phones are truly private, and all the information is shared and used in ways we have simply unintentionally consented to. Edit. To those of you who are saying this isn't a conspiracy theory, understand it is not common knowledge, and most people, where I'm from at least, are completely oblivious about things like this and explain them away as other logic, whether it be their own logic or they have been deceived. So this goes back to the CIA wanting people to think that conspiracy theorists are insane. All genetic ancestry companies are government fronts. The point is to gather an enormous database of human genomes, and the rubes pay for it. The big food producers like Tyson, Nestle, and General Mills are in bed with big healthcare, keeping single payer healthcare from happening. One profits by selling poison as food, and the others profit from treating the poisons. Bayer owns Monsanto. I ain't gonna lie, from reading conspiracy theories, even though you know that a lot of them are true, it just makes you so freaking mad and almost helpless. Because it's like, what can I do? But as long as the powers that be continuously make conspiracy theories feel like they are insane, we will never get anything done, ever. Because people will sit back and be like, y'all are crazy. Or people just don't know, just don't care. That's not something that interests them. Because there's a lot of people that don't know anything about data centers. I bring it up all the time. I make sure I do. I bring it up with older people, younger people, anybody who will listen. Because it's ridiculous. All these data centers are doing are keeping a track of every fucking thing we do, and they will always do it. And we allow them to. But as long as they have the First Amendment, I will always continue to talk about it. I really will. Until they cut my tongue out and shut me up, I will continue to talk about it. Because lives matter over freaking inventory, over being better than China, whatever. This is their excuse. It is not terrorism to bring up data centers. It is not terrorism to stand up for the rights of our people. If a small town in North Carolina of 1,500 people could stand up and say, we don't want this freaking data center here, anybody can. And they don't want people living in little cities. They don't want people farming because they can't control you. I don't like what this country has become. I do not want to watch the transition and to watch people who know that we are outnumbering them not stand up and unite together to stop this is so disappointing. It is. It's so disappointing because we have the cards, but they don't want us to think or know that. But the moment we do, we can win. But anyways, because I'm getting real riled up and now I'm hella hot. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. If you have any conspiracy theories that you want to drop in the comments, please do. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of y'all day and God bless.